Cheers to the first podcast. Damn, do you put the... All right, there we go. There you go. Give me another cheers. There you go. Without disappearing this time, maybe. New podcast. Real quick. And feel free to chime in. This is not a monologue here. Changing the channel from the gaming aspect to more podcast. I want to flirt with that idea that we were talking about for our channel and flirt with the idea of having the some kind of a gaming aspect and podcasting, but I don't want to do like a lesser version of that, like a lesser version of being able to talk, because then it's just not going to be as good. And then it's like, so if the gaming's subpar because I can't focus and that's subpar, then nothing's really good. So like, but I want to like see if I can. So maybe if I'm doing some rants, so one of my ideas with doing this like podcasting is sometimes if I'm doing it by myself, I consume a shit ton of podcast information all the time. I'm always on podcasts, audiobooks, something. So I have all these different interests or like certain points where I'm always talking to myself and being like saying, just like chiming in my head, like whether it's like, all right, well, they're not bringing up this point. What about that point? Or like, oh, I agree with that or whatever. Like I'm just chiming into the conversation of whatever's something interesting that I'm hearing in the moment. And then I'm just kind of going in my head about it. And like, I can then like kind of show the podcast that I'm like, or the clip of the segment I'm talking about and then like elaborate on my own thoughts or whatever. And then I can also invite people to join the Discord. Discord used to have like 1,200 like people in there at one point. If I can like kind of build a community like that, so people would like to watch, see something, hear like an interesting conversation, jump in Discord, and when I come home from work or if I'm just whatever, we're all talking or they're talking amongst each other, and then we're like continuing the conversation in Discord and like just kind of building a community that way. So it'd be fun for other people to be involved. I'm doing something. I'm already consuming so much podcasts and audiobooks and stuff like that, and like just being able to talk about it, hearing different perspectives, whatever, shoot the shit, talk whatever, have a little community that way. They'll talk amongst each other, amongst themselves. That kind of thing. Then great, I obviously want to guess.
No, that's a good thing because you're like a teacher and a coach and you just love to talk. I'm a listener. That's what I'm here for, baby. Open ears, closed mouth. No homo. Don't put that in there.
It's going in. The other part is like this: live guests. I'll have you on podcasts. I'll have people over, whatever. And we'll do whatever. So I might have some little solo things. I might have some like in person things, and whatever at the moment. And then we'll go from there. I'm gonna commit to 5 to 6. I've told you this already, but commit to 5 to 6 and just see how I'm feeling at that point, and go from there. Now, let's move on.
Thank you for answering your own question. I'm gonna speak with ice in your mouth.
It's talent. Okay.
Anyway.
All right. So let's start with this. You recently have started working out a lot. You're waking up at what time? 7, 6?
6:45.
6:45. And how many days?
I wake up every day, a month straight. We work out 5 days a week, 2 days rest. So every day we work out, those 5 days each week. I'm up at 6:45, and I get an hour to get ready. And then I'm out the door. It takes me 15 minutes to get there. And we show up on time.
And what got you going
2-hour
into
workout,
it?
man. Huh?
What got you going into that? Because
That would
obviously...
be my boy.
Go ahead.
That'd be my boy Randy. Best roommate in the world. No offense.
So you guys wake up early. Get up... Oh, yeah, fucker. You get up early. Fuck it after it. And it was just him. He kind of started it all off.
Well, he had the subscription first, so it's cheaper if you get the whole year.
Yeah.
It's like $100 a month if you pay upfront the whole year. But I'm doing month to month because I don't know what my commitment is gonna be like. Mm-hmm. So I'm on my second month now.
And are you
$130 month to month? But he was doing it first, and he invited me, and then my other friend George wanted me to come too. It was like months go by, and all of a sudden I just felt like I need to get in there. I'm looking to get a little of that beer gut.
Saw it. I saw
I
that.
was like, ooh, I got one ab left.
That's a rough life.
I was on job. I was working a job doing underwear, and I was like, ooh, this is not what they hired me for. I wasn't looking like,
Saw all your pics. You're like, what the fuck is this guy doing here?
mm, mm. Yeah, so that's what really charged it up. So now I go to John Reed and we work out every day, and I got my abs back, and I'm
And you got some
manly.
size too. It doesn't look it in the camera, but I right now I don't look it. But you do got some size. What are you weighing in right now?
Ooh, that's a cramp.
What are you weighing in right now? 185, you said? What's the last time you weighed?
Depends if I took a shit or not.
Heard.
Because
So it can go from anywhere between 180 190.
basically pre-shit 185, post-shit 173.
What's the lowest you weigh in right now? Because my weight fluctuates like crazy. Like, so I was like I think Sunday I weighed in at 187 at the gym, same scale. And then today I weighed in at 183, which is better for me because I've been running whatever. Like, I don't feel like I like 187 when I feel like 187. I don't
I feel like
feel
you've
like
always been like
187.
185.
I fluctuate. I can fluctuate down to, all right, when I was in LA, I was low 170s, like 171, 172. And me on 170, 172 on me, I look like a string bean. Like, it does not look good. It's bad. And then
Gangly.
yeah, because then you have like fat weight. You have skinny fat weight. So I'm also like very low muscle content. Like, it's bad. It's not good for me to be like that. Then what was I fucking saying? Oh, but like in track, in my peak fitness, I was like 182, 183. But I was 5% body fat. So I was like, I felt like whatever. But I don't like, I'm not in track shape like that anymore. I'm not doing that kind of whatever, but I'm still running all the time. So I feel like to me, I feel good at 187 if I'm in good shape. I'm not feeling that good shape right now, but if I weighed in like on Sunday 187, but I don't feel that good shape. So it feels a little fatty to me. Like, I'm one of the ones too. Like, well, most people when they don't work out and they're not exercising, they gain weight. It's like, oh shit, I'm 190, man. I gotta start working out and drop down. Like, to me, I start working up, I gain weight. And then if I don't do shit, I start to lose weight because a lot of it's like muscle mass and things. Like, right now, I'm pretty much the same weight I was in high school. I'm always around there. But if I'm weak and shit, I'm like 170. 170 low is bad. That's bad for me.
It's great for camera, like if you're doing auditions or you're doing TV work.
Why?
Because the camera adds 10 pounds. So if you're 170, you actually look like 180 on camera.
Yeah, but if I'm 170, I'm not a good version of myself. So I'm not a healthy, strong version. Now, if I'm lean, like, I'll be lean. I was 5% fat with 182 before. 182, 183. So like, if I'm like 180 whatever, like, and lean, I'll probably look like fucking 200 on camera. Not this fucking camera. I'm looking at myself right now. It's looking pretty bad right now. It's looking pretty bad. But you get the right camera, the right angle, the right time. Boy. But I want to transition to this right here. What do you feel like? What do you feel the difference is? Do you feel like right now? Do you feel a little more? Do you walk around with a little more confidence now that you've been going out? Do you feel better about yourself? Do you feel like what's going on in your head?
100%. I'm more clear-minded. Like, my brain fires faster. I'm not sluggish. I do have confidence. My walk is different. My chest is up.
Yeah.
Not like I own the world, but like I feel good in my skin, you know? Like I know I look good.
And change your social interaction too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good or bad. Because most of the things that I talk about now is all workout. I'm just like, John Reed. Reed. Like, hey, you look good. Yeah, John Reed. I'll be showing it off. I like it.
I mean, there ain't shit wrong with that. That's what I was trying to say earlier because you were saying I remember you said you wanted to talk about kind of bringing up having the discipline. It was a discipline or having the system or something like that. But I was feeling like how much better you feel when you start going. And like speak to this too. Like what I've learned, like if I go on a hiatus of not doing it, it's easy to stay in that hiatus and like not go. But when like let's say for somebody who doesn't really work out, the hardest part that I say is probably like the first week to 2 weeks. Because that's when you're like, it's not your normal routine. You feel like you don't have time for it. There's always fucking time. You can make time for it. But if you do it and you say, look, I'm going to give that 1 week or 2 weeks and you go. And once you start to see the improvement, that's the motivation you need to keep going. And then when you don't do it, you start to check yourself. You feel lazy. You're like, shit, I didn't go today. Fuck. Like, I feel like I got to do something. I have to go. I'll go later. I'll do something later. Like,
I definitely feel that. Yourself. When I miss a day, ooh,
yeah.
I feel off.
But if you didn't, before that was part of your life or part of your like system, that wasn't a thing. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, so like, that's what I'm saying for people who just like, I always like people like, it's hard. It's definitely hard to get started. But once you get over the hump and this is just my part of my routine, you start to self-check yourself and you're like, you feel like shit for not going and you just keep yourself going. And you feel like,
yeah. You know what it feels like? It feels like when people, like to have coffee in the morning. I can't start my day without coffee. That's what the gym is right now for me.
Yeah.
But before that, no, I didn't like. It just wasn't part of my routine. So I just wake up and just do the normal stuff I would normally do: take the dog out, do the dishes, clean the house, answer some emails, blah blah blah. There was no workout. There was no, and I didn't think I had time for it either.
Yeah, you're one of the But it's everybody thinks that. Everybody thinks that because you're busy. You have a day, but there's time. You can make it. Once it becomes important to you, you'll find a spot. Wake up earlier. Do so, you whatever. And it's the best way to start the day. Especially, I think cardio is the best way to start the day. I mean, you can go as long as you can go to the gym and then go to cardio or whatever. But like, I mean, you still run. You said you run like 5 minutes. You get a little something on the treadmill.
Yeah, just to warm up, just as long as we sweat, because we want to get the muscles warmed up, get the blood flowing. That way the stretch is better, get a deeper stretch, and it feels better, and then the workouts are easy. And you don't pull anything because everything's warmed up. You know, you can't just jump to a professional flag football tournament without a stretch or warming up first. I don't know why I said that. I don't play flag football.
Okay, man. Dude, we just faking out here, huh?
I mean, isn't that what we're supposed to do?
Let me say this right here.
No, I don't like where it's going. I don't like it. It's not that bang popping out your head. You better stop. He's coming up with a zinger.
No, I'm not. I'll put it. I'll put it back. I'll put it down. What I'll say is this. One thing for sure, your time frame is what I want to do. Like this is what I do in the morning. I've been waking up at like somewhere between 7 and 8, usually 7:30. But then I stay in my bed on my phone. I want to stop doing that. The first thing I wake up and grab my phone and check shit and just like browse. All I'm doing is browsing memes or like whatever the fucking shorts are. That's all I'm browsing. But like I sit there and I'll be in the bed for 30 minutes. And just be like scrolling. But like I want to get up. But what I do, my routine is I wake up early and that's my time so I can game because I'm just by myself, whatever. And I play Kingdom Hearts. That's what I do.
Kingdom Hearts. Which one are you playing right now?
Birthday.
Sorry, we'll get back to that. We'll come back to that.
All right. I wake up, I do that, and then I go to the gym either before work. I'll get a run, and then I'll go to the gym. You know what's weird too?
That scrolling. That's 30 minutes of just lying down dead.
Yeah, it's bad. But one thing also is like, this is kind of weird. You would think I've had some of my best runs after a gym session where I've worked my legs out. And I guess it's warming it up, but like my legs will be super fatigued and like whatever. And then all of a sudden I'll have a nice, like really like good run session that surprised me. Not my best times, but like a session that surprised me where I'm like, I'm just going to go out. I'm going to go chill. I'm going to chill. And next thing you know, my chill is like way above the time that I thought my chill was going to be.
Where
And it
hold up,
sounds a
Doc.
little
You can put
backwards.
some crickets on.
Put some crickets on what? Oh, this motherfucker gonna walk out on the podcast. All right. Got something for your ass, though. I know you can hear me.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Next one. Next one. So, moving on. Right along. You came here, visited me.
Aggressive.
Yeah, a little bit.
Go ahead.
You came here, you visited me, and we had a track meet.
I regretted it.
And I want to talk about that.
Oh, yeah, it was
You
good.
did not regret it.
I didn't know what you were going to say. I was just saying I regret it. But now you said...
Hold on.
Just go.
No. We're going to go back. You regretted visiting me? Because that's all I got out. That's all I fucking got out.
That was the joke.
Yes.
That was the...
All right.
Look, I was more excited to see Lil Man.
And your phone.
I stayed an extra day to hang out with him more.
You broke your phone. We'll leave that alone, though. How cool. Okay. We will leave it alone. I just fucked up your whole vibe, didn't I? I fucked it up.
Why you gotta do that? Oh, because I said I regretted visiting you. You just had to throw that one. Okay.
Look,
tit for tat.
We even.
Mine was a joke.
Mine was a joke too.
Yours cut deep.
Had a little sting on it.
Yours shattered.
It's only going to sting as much as you let it. Moving on. You came to hang out. It was a track meet. Me and you, both former track athletes. We haven't done one in a long time. Boom, boom. We lined up. I've been running. You have been running. You came through. You also, and this is not talking shit. This is just saying the facts. You weren't to a degree of success that I was at. So all you did was high school, and it was cool. Like I wanted to talk to you were so fucking nervous. You know what I mean?
I was mad nervous.
And what was that nervousness? You know what I mean? Like what was the for you? Like I understand it. I feel like I understand it, but like for your source of nervousness, because obviously the source of nervousness I think is different.
Yeah.
We're running at 400 meters. You're getting nervous. You haven't ran in forever. There's zero fucking pressure on you. You're just out there.
There's pressure.
But you know what I mean? Like no one, you haven't ran since high school. You have not been training. You haven't trained a single sprint day at all. You have a 400 meter race in front of you. The pressure you have is all self pressure. Yes. I'm not putting pressure on you. I told you you probably run.
You just being there and knowing that this is your life, running and track and field and being fit. Yeah, I got pressure from you too without you saying anything. I got to perform at least to a decent level, even with me not training at all. Can you imagine if I ran the 400 meter? 400 meter?
That's a new metric. Go ahead.
Can you imagine if I ran the 400 meters in 2 minutes?
But you weren't though.
See on your face. See on your face. No,
that would. I would. Yeah,
I was afraid. I literally did not know what I was gonna.
That's an extreme. That wouldn't happen. But if you did that, I knew that. I even told you. You told me. I think you were aiming for a minute and a half, and I'm like, no, man. I think I know you can make 70, at least 77. But I think if you just chill, because you had the leg injury at the time, you had the calf, knee.
Knee left side, calf right.
You had the injuries and you were scared to blow it out and mess it up and mess up your It
was giving me a little trouble during warm up. Yeah.
Yeah. But that involved, I'm all right, considering that, I'm thinking 85. And it was way faster than you were predicting for yourself, but that's where I was like, nah, you can do that. I feel like you can do that. But let the motherfuckers know what you did though. Let the motherfuckers know what you ended up doing though.
No, man, I don't even remember what time I ran. I just remember it was beyond what I thought it was going to be. And
was it 60 something?
Was it? I think it was 67.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's either 67 or 72. Those are the two numbers in my head. It's one of those two.
I love them both.
I think it was 60. No, it was 67. It was 67. Yep, it was 67. Yeah, because the guy in front of you ran 50, 8 or 9.
He was in the wrong heat.
He was in the wrong heat.
He should have been.
You should have had your moment. Oh yeah, by the way, we tried to give him a seed because you had to put your time in, and we gave him a seed at like a minute and 40 or something like that to get him in a slow heat. It just was only like 2 heats though, so like he had to run with somebody who ran under 60.
I know, that was terrible. I was like, okay, this guy's like 50. I got him. Okay, this is a girl. I got her. That's rude to say. I apologize, but
don't bother.
I was feeling good.
Say with your chest, motherfucker.
But she was decked out though. That girl was like,
yeah.
She looked like she was gonna give me a run for the money though. But I was like, I can take it at the end.
The girl in my heat would have gave you a run for your money.
Huh?
The girl in my heat would have gave you a run for your money.
Oh, I saw her training.
I think she did 68. I think.
I don't want to run next to that. That don't make me feel good. I'm trying to get confidence. John Reed.
There you go.
But yeah, no, I ran a really good time and actually finished all the way through. I thought I was going to hit the wall. I thought I was going to die at the last 100 meters. I did, but I finished strong. Like I kept my pace.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was going to break down back at NTC days when I was doing the...
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we all broke down. NTC, by the way, is National Training Center. But yeah, I mean, we all had that.
I was super happy. Socks were drenched. I didn't have a change of clothes. It started raining after as a celebration. Everybody started leaving because nobody wanted to do any more races. But I won. For me, I won. So the other guy beat me, but I won for me. I
mean, you were way faster than you thought. You ran out. You were so happy. You were talking about it for hours after that, the next day. Like, that's what I'm talking about, brother. That's what I wanted. I knew you fucking had it. That's what I was talking about.
Here's where the pressure comes from. What if I did ran like 90 above? What if it was a minute and a half?
Well, you would have been like...
I wouldn't have felt that great, and you would have gotten on me like, man, you...
No, I wouldn't have. No, because what would have been the narrative? The narrative would have been, my leg was hurting, I had to taper off, blah blah blah. I can't say
excuses,
you're like,
baby.
I know, but it's a legit excuse. Like, why hurt your leg and like postpone your thing? I was with you with that. You would have said
I was actually prepared.
You wouldn't have said, "Oh shit, I felt great and I ran a 90." You know what I mean? You wouldn't have said that. You would have said, "Oh shit, my leg was fucking. I felt it. And I just had to pull up, and I just didn't want to push. I could have pushed it way faster, but I just wanted to slow down." And I'd be like, "All right, whatever. I'm glad you ran. Whatever."
What if I hit the wall though? Oh. What if there was no?
Like I did. I almost had a stroke. I almost had a stroke after it. I couldn't even barely watch the shit.
You didn't watch it. You didn't watch me.
No, I saw you in segments. I saw you in 3 segments. I saw you start.
You were dying on the bench.
I saw you in the corner. I saw you in more than 3. And then I saw you in this corner. And then I saw you pass right by me about 50 meters left. And that was about it. I didn't see you finish the line. Like, I kind of got where you were. And I couldn't even look at your time. I was just like, I was struggling, dude. I can feel the veins. Like, I was like almost gonna panic. Like, the veins were pulled. I would put my hands right here, and the veins over here were like boom, boom, boom. And I had this huge migraine. I was like, I could not focus. I'm like, oh my god. It was bad, dude. It was bad. Oh, bad.
On top of that, you're a dick of a friend.
Why?
All that going on, you couldn't just put it to the side and give me some congratulations. Good job.
I couldn't think.
Daps.
I couldn't think. I gave it to you after,
and
I hyped you up after. I hyped you up after and all that shit. I couldn't think of them. In the moment, I'm literally thinking, am I going to have a stroke right now? Like, literally. I'm not joking. You think it's funny.
I know you're laughing. I'm laughing, but I
holding my head like it was such like boom, boom, and I could not focus. I'm holding like my head. I'm like closing my eyes. I'm like, when is this gonna stop? Oh my god! So like it was hurting so bad. On top of your body's drained, so I'm already tired. But aside from the headache, my body's fucked up. I'm so hurt. I'm tired. I barely want to walk. But then it's like I have this crazy head pain. I couldn't focus on shit. And
that's what she said.
It's embarrassing that like it was probably 52 high, 53 low. And that's how it felt.
Embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. To feel like that was probably the worst I've ever felt after a 400. like that was probably the worst I've ever felt. and to feel like that was the time. The time's not bad. That's where I thought I would be. That's exactly where I thought I would be. I ran a little. I got out. I changed my game plan because that guy beat me. He ran a 49. He was currently in college. Young motherfucking buck. I had a week and a half training. Yeah, I got to say that.
Wait, you talking about the super tall guy? Like
yeah.
The collegiate
the
tree of a man?
Yeah. But here's the thing. I would have worked his ass back when I was doing my thing.
These are one of my favorite talks when you're like, I would have.
I would have.
If I.
Back in my day, back when I was running, he's at he went to like some fucking college in Daytona. I went to the University of fucking Florida, my guy. In the 400-meter hurdles. That guy, I could have a full podcast with him as I ran and beat him. I talked to him the whole time.
That's saying a lot.
So, moving on. Hey, fix your mic real quick. I could 100% could have done that. But, and that's the thing, that shit lives inside me. It can never break. I still have that fucking confidence. I still have that. To see yourself not be able to do that because you don't train and you're just doing whatever. Like, I train distance. I don't train that. My body's changing. It's just, anyway. You're not liking where this is going. I'm just trying to defend myself.
There's nothing to defend. I was just making a joke and you took it there.
Yeah.
What did you say earlier? It only hits you as much as you let it?
I got a soft spot for that.
You're looking soft all over.
How about this? No, I'm not.
Look at you. Quit. You competitive ass.
How about this?
How about it?
You said, what'd you say about that girl in your heat?
No,
like,
no,
you
like
said, no.
Oh, yeah.
You said, he's like, all right. Old man, got him. I got a girl, got her. All right. Let's go on that. Let's go on that little wavelength real quick.
We don't need to.
Just a little bit. It's
okay.
not, it's just a little bit. You live in LA.
I don't like it. No, I definitely don't like where it's going.
We're going.
Go.
You got that wokeism. I want to know how deeply entrenched the wokeism is inside you at this point. I don't think I've had conversations with you. I know you're not fully entrenched, but I remember some other things that have been said where you're like, that's not funny. And I'm like, all right, he's a little involved. So let's play a little game. We have the transgender issues.
Oh, no, I don't. Okay, no.
All right, let's just go here.
This is eggshells all day. Why?
Why not?
You want to do this game?
Because I don't give a shit. Just talk how you feel.
See.
Are you scared? You're scared to talk about it.
See, this is what we talked about earlier.
So you don't want to talk
about it? You want me to have opinions on things? I don't have opinions on this.
Zero opinions?
Well, my standpoint
let me ask you a question.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Hold on. I'll ask you one question. And if you have zero opinion, you're like, look, I don't even have an opinion. Look, let's preface it with saying these might not be educated opinions. You haven't done the research. You haven't done whatever. Blah, 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 blah. I haven't really either. I'm not reading scholarly work. Just saying. Do you think a biological man turned woman should compete against other women? Let's say the Olympics.
That's a good question.
Let's say the Olympics. Let's say MMA.
That is actually a good question. And still, I find it hard to have an opinion because they want to identify themselves as said gender. That's okay. But then to compete in the newly found gender, that's a different story. By the way, you're paused, and I don't even know if you can hear me.
Oh, my camera turned off. Good call. I'll use my Brio cam. Boom, I'm fixed.
Didn't I tell you? To fucking invest?
I knew this was going to happen the whole time. I saw the red. I saw the red dot. I saw the red dot happening, and I kept looking up over there, and then I knew I have backup, so I wasn't tripping.
Oh, it's nice to have backup, huh?
That's why I did it quick.
I'd be like, I do this. I don't like the quality on this one.
Yeah, that one's like a little shit.
I have to be like here for it to be cool. Hey. I don't know why I did that.
That's because the light's doing its job. You should get the Brio Cam. The Brio Cam is very nice. You have the what? The C920?
I do. How do you know this? How do you remember what I have?
Because I used to have it, and I told you what to get.
Fair. And every time you say Brio, I think you're talking about a cleaning product, a Brillo pad. Because that's how much I clean the house.
Look at that. Brio's fucking nice, bro. Anyway. Anyway. All right, let me ask you this question, and then we'll get back to the little athlete. Same thing. Is a man and a woman, are we equal? Are we equal? The same thing.
Can this be the part of the podcast where I just listen to your opinion?
No, I know. All right, so like, are you worried about work? Yes or no? This podcast is not going to.
That hasn't crossed my mind, but subconsciously, probably. But like, no.
Just answer the question.
And I don't think that even.
Go ahead.
I did answer the question, by the way.
Well, I'm getting to a direct spot, and then I'm going to go back to the athletic part.
Great.
How about I ask you this?
Try it a different.
How about this? How about this? Can a man give birth? Can a man give birth?
No.
You know that's very easy for you to say. Kind of a hot take these days.
Maybe you're trying to trigger. No, it's like
I'm not trying to trigger you. It's a hot take these days.
Really?
Yeah.
A man cannot give birth. They legitimately cannot give birth.
Exactly. Exactly. But then what they do is they play the game of like, all right, what is a man? What's a man? How do you define a man? What are the qualities of a man? A man could give birth. If a biological female decides that they're a male, they can give birth. And then a man gave birth. That's they kind of go in these little words. So just saying a man can't give birth and all that kind of stuff is not okay. Yeah.
I'm confused, first of all.
Well, it's confusing. But this is legit talk.
And I'm still standing by, like, whether you're a man or you decided to be anything other than a man, you still cannot give birth. Like, you legit cannot give birth. Exactly. Unless surgery is just on a whole new level and AI is just digging in there and putting ovaries and a uterus for you and you got this whole womb going on and then okay, now you can give birth. But you weren't born with those tools to give birth. So I would say a man cannot give birth if you're born that way.
Yeah. And guess what? That's the correct answer. I just thought you would be more in tune with the bullshit going on over there. Your circle's a little small, which is nothing wrong with it, but your circle's small. So like that's not talking shit. My circle's small too. I barely have a fucking circle. I just listen to like I hear a lot of the shit being like I hear a bunch of the talks, podcasts, whatever. So I'm a little more in tune with that. But like I don't hear from my circle honestly at all. But it is a big thing. Or people would say like, what is a woman? What is a man? Anyway, go back to sports. There was a big thing of like should transgender. They've had MMA biological men that are identifying as women fight women in their sport.
Initially, I feel that that's not okay.
It's
now,
not.
For me to elaborate on it, I don't want to yet because I haven't done enough research and I don't want to offend people.
So apparently, if the hormones you have going in you very early in your life, change the trajectory of how you are forever. The kind of muscle development, the kind of stuff like that. So if you change it like later, and look, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I heard it. Okay. But these are from people who've done some research and shit like that. Anyway, and look, the best woman and this is in any sport, the top tier women will be 90% of all men. Let's say you get a 145-pound woman who's a trained top tier athlete in the UFC, 125, whatever. You get then you get, let's go pick up a guy who's on, let's go to the bar tonight, find some dude, he's 125 pounds, yo, fight him. She'll beat anybody at 125 pounds in that bar. All of them. She knows what she's doing. She's got the skill, whatever. But you know who she's not going to beat? So here's the thing. The best woman of a field, not of a field, of, let's say, an athletic field. So let's put it, let's go fighting. The best woman will be 90%.
Best woman is my wife, by the way. Just want to put that out there.
She's the best fighter?
She's the best woman. Yeah, she can fight too. Verbally and physically.
I'll leave that there.
But go on.
And then, look, the best woman can beat most guys, but the best guy can beat everybody on earth. See what I'm saying? You look like you're...
I tuned out. That's what that is.
The best woman will beat most men by a large percentage. The best male will beat everybody.
I get that. I get the idea of that.
Yeah. So when you have a fucking track athlete, you can't have some transgender track athlete male run the 100 against the women. You can't. Now, the top tier women, I'm telling you, they're fast as shit. Those 100-meter girls, they're so fast. They will beat most people I've ever seen in my life. We'll beat them all. Not in my life. I've seen some fucking... I've been in some elite circles. But most, by far, 90... Of all the men I've ever met, I would say 99%. Because that 1% is a handful of people. But the best male would be every girl ever.
But here would be my argument, thinking about the big picture. See, throughout time, it was always the men who went out and hunted and did all the physical labor. So, like, naturally, they developed that way. And I'm not talking about genetics. We put that to the side for now. Now, say the role was reversed and the women were the ones hunting and they were doing all the physical labor and they were protecting the tribes. And, like, that happened throughout time and up to this day. The women would naturally be stronger because of not genetics, but because that's just how it was.
I'll push back because there's different hormones that are involved in what makes a male and what makes a female. You have the testosterone as a higher level.
That's what I'm saying. I was trying to put genetics to the side.
But you can't though, right?
I want to include that in there just for the sake of what I'm trying to say.
I understand what you're saying. You would have a stronger breed of women, I guess. But not even, because genetics are like, you can't remove genetics because that's pretty much the whole argument, right?
You can't. But here's a what do you call it? A scientific experiment that they did. So with fleas, they put them in a jar. They jump, right? Mm-hmm. They can only jump a certain height because there's a ceiling. Over time, and when they have babies, they can only jump that high, even outside of the jar. But before that, they could jump as high as they want, and they can jump higher and higher and higher. I had a point to this. Try to fill in the gap, please.
It sounded like you were going in regression, and I could not find the point you were making. So
that might be what's happening as a regression, I guess. But there's
which is the opposite to the point that you were trying to make. Unless you're trying to say, look, there's something to there is something to it, but that doesn't matter.
Even if I did get that point across, there's still the point of genetics, which is really the base of this conversation, which you can continue to express because I'm not going to fight estrogen and testosterone.
We don't need to. I just wanted to hear your thing about it. Leads me
Oh,
into
you got
another
it.
point, though. The other day, I've always said to you that, like, you just don't know a lot about a lot because you don't try
God, you're
to
like
look at it.
so rude.
Stop. Just let me fucking finish, motherfucker.
Yes, yes, go ahead. I don't know a lot about a lot,
Because you just don't
which actually
consume
makes me pretty wise.
information.
Hmm?
Does it? Let's. Oh, hold on. I want you to go there. Go there. Make that work.
What?
Make that work. I don't know a lot about a lot, which makes me wise. Continue. No, go ahead. Please.
Can I take a moment and search this quote that
Yeah.
backs me up?
Yeah.
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna do that.
It
This
better
would be
be
a
a
great.
good. It better be a.
You ready?
Yeah.
Because Mr. Philosopher over there, who's one of your favorite philosophers?
One of them. I mean, you gotta go with the Greeks: Socrates, Aristotle.
Thank you.
Plato.
That's all I needed. You can read that right there.
The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. All right. That sounds cute, but may I elaborate on what he means?
Now go ahead. Now your turn.
Okay. Actually, I want you to elaborate on that too. So you don't know a lot about a lot. That's wisdom. Go ahead. I want you to elaborate now. Don't just take that quote and then I'll go in.
Okay, I'll just give you a little bit. There's so much in the world. Not a single person knows everything in the world. Not the what's, the hows, the who's, the names. There's still things undiscovered in the ocean on our planets and galaxies that
Can you
have
put your screen
been
back so I can
undiscovered.
see you?
So, yes,
Go ahead.
absolutely.
Go ahead.
There is, anyway, yeah, there's so much that is not known. So, accepting that you don't know everything keeps you open to learning more things. And I think it's silly to think that you know everything and there's nothing you can learn.
100% right.
That's my
100%
that's
right.
my that's my argument.
But that does not go with what you said. So I said, you don't know a lot about a lot. And you try to make this some fucking grandiose thing. I know nothing, but I know. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I know everything. What you do is you just don't even.
You, by the way.
I know. But you just take in the information. You don't take in the information. Not knowing anything about anything doesn't mean since I know nothing, I know everything. Or I'm smart because I know nothing. You just don't take in a lot of information is what I'm saying. So you don't have, it's hard for you to have, if we start talking about COVID, right? You just don't have enough information to back up probably any claims that you do have. Even if I agree with it, even if I agree with you, I'll say, why do you think that way? You probably don't have enough supporting things because somebody could probably easily like break that down where you wouldn't be able to argument back or like have an argument back, right?
I will agree with you, and I will correlate with that. Like a lot, the majority of people around me, including you, know more than I do because I do not put my attention into studying this stuff. And the reason I do that is because I like to live, let's just say, in this bubble. Things come and go. And I like to live in the moment and I flow with things. And my interest doesn't involve these trends, which actually are kind of important sometimes. But I don't watch the news. I don't keep up with all these things. And I'm actually feeling a little bit bad about it. But I want to live a healthy, happy lifestyle. And that is how I choose to live mine.
And that's fine. But it doesn't, and that's cute. But I'm kidding. That was a joke.
Big ass shoe. But look, just stomp on me, man.
This is what that quote means, though. The more you know about something, you realize there's so much more to know and you don't know. You can't be married to that idea. You can't be married to this idea because that can change. New information can pop up, whatever. There's things, the more you know that could shift the things that you already have that are beliefs in your idea, whatever. When you know that you don't know anything, but you can still have the leading thought at the time, but I'm not married to this idea because I know it could be wrong because more information could pop up and I'm fluid in the motion. Like I don't know, I might not have enough information. But just because you don't take in any information and you don't know anything about a subject doesn't mean that's the mark of wisdom.
No, but no, great
That's
point.
opposite
That's
to
not
what you're
I was
saying. It's kind of what you were. Because as soon as I said you didn't know a lot about a lot, you said, well, that's wisdom, right? And you brought up the quote.
Okay, so there is a percentage of me using that as a defense.
Will you now admit that it's wrong? Oh, so it's not wrong.
What?
Is your argument, the argument you were attempted to make, is it wrong or right? Define your argument as it pertains to that quote and what I said and how you responded.
So a lot of information coming at me at once, and I'm not really that interested in it. I just put it right back on the table.
Deflection. Beautiful job.
I'm very good at it. But honestly, I forgot.
All right, but that's what that means. I said you don't know a lot about a lot. You said, well, that makes me wise. And you said, all right, can I show up a quote? And you showed up that quote.
Well, yeah, because I always start with a joke. If I say it like that, yes, it's a joke. But there is some content with what I'm actually saying underneath it.
Okay.
And that's what we just talked about.
And you agree with what I meant? Do you agree with what I said about that quote? It's not about not knowing. It's about the more you find out about stuff, which is gathering information and understanding things on a deeper level than most people do on their surface level, and understanding it more, you also begin to understand, I don't know. But I can talk circles around those people. I'm not saying me personally, but like say if I did know a shit ton about something, I will then understand that I don't know. But if somebody who claims they know, because that's part of the fucking game. Once you know a lot, you understand you don't know. And if somebody who claims they know probably doesn't know a lot about it. They're just latched onto a certain thing. So they start talking. I will talk circles and I can back them up and like whatever. I'll say me personally, just saying. I can like talk circles around them, trap them, whatever, and they're going to be into a point where they don't know what the fuck what to say. But I'm never claiming I know. I don't know. It's just the leading thought. But I've put a lot of thought into it. I've received a lot of information. I've looked up a lot of information. I feel educated on this subject. This is where I'm at. But I know I could be wrong. If you present me with if you are also knowledgeable about a situation and you can give me some information that like challenges it, I shouldn't be married to the idea that I normally had before. I can then adapt and be like, shit, I never thought about that. That's a good perspective. And then boom, adapt. But you can only get there when you actually understand the ins and outs of a subject. And that's that quote. That's not saying, because I don't know, I know, or something like that. Or I'm wise because I don't know. And that's why I feel you should do more searching, just like just understanding about like things that are going on. This is your world. It's the world you live in.
First of all, don't tell me what to do. Second of all, let me put it in another visual perspective for you.
Visual? You're going to put a PowerPoint? Are we got a PowerPoint slide? All right.
We're beyond that. AI's doing it already. I'll send it to you. This is how much I know about X subject, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm also open to the idea that I don't know everything else beyond it. But I know this much. You, for the purpose of this argument, you know this much. So you obviously know more than I do. But you also don't know X amount beyond that. Somebody else may know more than you, and they know this much, but they don't know this much, right? It's all the same concept.
But
leading back to this quote.
Doesn't make you wise.
I've already regressed on that. I'm not saying.
All right.
I think each one of these people, with however much knowledge that they have, is still wise in some aspect because of.
You haven't talked to a dumb person before. Because there's dumb people out there with dumb ass takes, and they take it on that sliver. They come up with an idea on the sliver of information as opposed to this. Now, you're right. There's more.
Nah, I feel like I'm being sacked.
But if you're operating, no, I'm not saying that. But if you operate here,
your passion.
And I'm not saying you operate here, but if you operate here on a particular subject, and you're here, and I'm operating here, you might have something. You might have a weird perspective on something that can like do it, but most of the time, you just don't have enough information to gather, and you're gonna tell me about some stuff when I operate here. I understand what you understand, but I understand it deeper, and you're not quite getting this part. Now, you might have, just because you operate here doesn't mean you're
burp
done.
and speak?
Yes, I did.
Just want to call that, but continue.
I mean,
I almost felt something come out of my mouth.
That burp just fucked up the vibe now. I forgot where I was at.
I mean, I was tuned in. I'm just letting you know.
Here we are. Anyway.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Let me go here.
I should have let you finish what you were saying.
Fine. No, it's fine.
But you talk a lot, man. Get your point across.
You've been talking too. I've been. See?
We should have a meter on the side. How much alcohol has been consumed as the conversation is getting more and more aggressive? And look at your face. Look at your face right now.
Okay. Let me say something.
By all means.
Here, I'm gonna switch up the game. Can I switch it up?
We should. We've been on this subject for a while.
Switch it up. Are you aware that Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are talking about doing an MMA fight? I'm being for real.
You stupid.
Are you aware? That's not fucking. You take everything I say as a jab. Do you know or do you not know? I'm just asking so we can move on. Stop being a dick. See? That's not a jab. I know it segued weird.
So it's just for me because this is where you rest your case. I know nothing of that.
So you don't know? Then say I don't know.
I don't know.
You made it.
And I thought you were doing that on purpose.
No, I was not. Okay. I understand why you would think that. The segue was a little.
You operate here. I'm not saying it's you here, but have you heard about Elon Musk and who?
And guess what? And who? That's interesting.
That's how quick I tuned out.
Yeah, no, but where's my camera? Exhibit A. Moving forward. Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are talking about doing an MMA fight. For real.
Against each other?
Yeah. And it's gaining traction to a point where it's not like just like kind of bullshitting. Like the UFC, Dana White has called both of them, say, are you down? Are you down? And they're both down. And they're literally talking about doing an MMA fight. This is like
I don't
legit.
think that would be entertaining, but I would watch it.
It would be the most
entertaining. Do you think either one of them can fight? Do you think it's going to be that interesting?
All right, real quick.
Who do you think would win?
All right, so there's some things that you don't know.
We already established that.
And I'm going to say Mark Zuckerberg actually trains and just won a tournament in jiu-jitsu. And you didn't know that. He also does Muay Thai.
You know how I feel right now?
So he's
excited learning new information.
Good.
You can't have that because you already know stuff.
Well, I've had that when it first happened.
And now, today's my day.
Yeah, now you get to go. Now you get to be excited. It's very cute. Here's the thing.
Okay, go on,
Elon Musk, it depends on how they're going to do the fight. Mark Zuckerberg, by far, is a better fighter than Elon Musk. Mark Zuckerberg is actually training. He won a jiu-jitsu tournament. He takes it serious. He actually grinds it. He does Muay Thai. He has good stand-up, and he has good ground game. How good? Is he a fucking world champion? Not even close. But he has it. Just having a knowledge where somebody else doesn't, you understand positioning, you understand movement, you understand you understand how to fake somebody into doing something that's not. You think Elon Musk
So now I'm confused. Why would Elon Musk agree to this?
Elon Musk is much bigger than him. So
and
he has
that's
the
what
weight
he's going
on
off
his
of?
side. Well, there's no way Elon Musk is not training. There's a video of him training with Lex Friedman, who's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's getting trained, and also he has he knows Joe Rogan, he knows a bunch of people. He can get top tier training. He also has a size advantage. So it really depends. Are they going to do a catch weight? All right, they're not going to weigh the same. I don't think they can. So are they just going to be like show up as they are and just like, oh, let's get this fight going? Like, how are they going to do it? The weight will matter a lot. Are they going to have to agree to like some happy like 165, 185, or it's just like show up how you are, fucking 205, whatever he is, like one fucking.
I feel like to make it even more legit, they would have to match weight somewhere. Agree to.
They can't. He's too big. He's too big. Really? Elon Musk is not going to cannot get down to fucking Zuckerberg.
He's a smart man. He can get down if he needs to, or Zuckerberg can.
He's a much bigger human. It'll take years anyway. I think with this kind of fight, they can get it sanctioned in like fucking Abu Dhabi or something like that. They can get this fight sanctioned. It's going to go and fight. If they were the same amount, it's not even close. Zuckerberg is going to just jack them up. But when you're that big, it's because he trains. He knows what he's doing. Okay. And he's been doing it for years. You don't just get this catch up in like, all right, I'm just gonna train for a year and then or like a 6 months or whatever, and I'm gonna be right there on your level. There's so much knowledge that goes into it for years of training, and both styles, standing up and on the floor. And Zuckerberg's better on the floor. You take somebody down, you neutralize the stand up.
But you sold me on Zuckerberg.
Oh yeah, Zuckerberg's a better fighter. There's no question. But Elon Musk is bigger. So he can absorb a lot of shots by being bigger and deal more damage with his power, ideally, as long as he can throw a punch. And he might be strong enough to neutralize a lot of takedowns. If he gets because he's getting training. It's not marked in, but it was one of these things. They had a little Twitter beef, and then someone challenged to a fight. They started saying, "Let's fight, let's do it, let's go to a cage match." And then
why?
The UFC president
Why did they even start with that conversation, though? Why would they want to fight each other?
Why not?
Because someone else said it?
Because it's America. And that's what I love about America. This is what I love. This is the most American shit ever. This is what I love about America. The fact that the two big billionaires of huge companies, some of the biggest companies in the world, are going to go into a cage match. Both Americans gonna fucking go for it, baby. That's us. That's how we get down. And the rest of the world is gonna be like, fuck yeah. Everyone's gonna watch. It's gonna be the biggest. Look, we've had the best of the best fight each other. You have Mike Tyson. You got fucking Muhammad Ali.
I think Mayweather's gonna feel about this.
This fight will break all those records.
All of them.
Be the most viewed pay-per-view fight of all time. Of all time. And it's funny because neither one of them are like real fighters or just you. But it's like, and you know what would be better than all that? You get Vladimir Putin and Trump or Joe Biden. You get them in a cage fight.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
Putin wins.
I don't know a whole lot.
Putin wins.
But Joe Biden wouldn't make it to
he wouldn't make it to the weigh-ins. He
wouldn't make it to the venue.
He wouldn't make it past the weigh-ins. He would. He ain't dropping weight. That's it. That's it for him.
There's no more weight for him to drop.
There's a comedian, Shane Gillis said, "I think Joe Biden's the first president you can punch assassinate."
That's terrible. So funny, but terrible.
But true. Just like he said, "Hey, Mr. President." Bah! Just suck him up. But anyway, it's just crazy. Like all these top tier big fights. I mean, McGregor Mayweather was huge. Pacquiao Mayweather, huge. Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, bigger. Vladimir Putin, our U.S. president or former president, bigger.
I would argue that one. I don't think that would be bigger than what's Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg.
It'd be bigger.
No, it's Tesla and Facebook going at it.
Yes, huge. But you had the leader of countries.
Never mind.
You're grabbing a whole side of the world. That's everyone on that side of the world is going to be watching. And then China's going to watch it. And they're going to watch. Everyone's going to fucking watch. Everyone.
I said it out loud. I heard myself. I was like, you know what? Never mind. Sometimes you just got to speak it. So you just got to say it and like.
I love us. I love that we would do something like that.
So would you
That's
say
not
you're
happening
Puerto
anywhere.
Rican American or American Puerto Rican?
I would say I'm Puerto Rican American
Because you have to.
because I
Because
want
your family
to.
would
Because I
disown
want
you.
to. They wouldn't. I got white people
Oh,
all
because
over
you
my
want
fucking
to.
family. I got freckled
But
white
you're more
girls in
American
my
than you are
fucking
Puerto
family.
Rican.
I
Say
am,
something
for
in
sure.
Spanish. Say something in Spanish.
¿Cómo estás?
I asked. You delivered.
All right.
You didn't get fancy with it.
Do I need to? You didn't. That wasn't a question.
Say something else.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Devon. Te mando me dice nada que van te debía. Don't put that in. I didn't. Forget it. Forget it. Forget it.
It's
Forget
going! All right, let's go. Let's go. If you don't want something going in, don't say anything in the moment and just tell me later. Because be serious about it. Say, look, I don't like that. Can you take that out? When you say it in the moment, I cannot not put it in. Like it's in there. It's so deep. It's so deep.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
It's always a good one. It's always a good line.
Speaking on,
But it is Pride Month, so that's what he said.
Would you get? Is it Pride Month? I thought that was last month. That's fine. You don't know what you're talking about.
I think that's a good thing. I don't know.
I gotta use the bathroom. And
I
I'm
use the
gonna
bathroom too.
a drink. I'll be right back. Let's go with Neuralink. So Neuralink is supposed to interface with also other technologies out there on a different level.
You know they've already done this though, right? Not to this level, but they have RFID chips that are implanted in the wrist, so you can like pay instead of a credit card, just a little chip, and you can access like different doors, and you can.
Would you get that?
I would do the beta testing.
Or would you get the RFID, not the Neuralink?
No, my initial feeling is no. I don't have a reason why yet, but no.
Let me just tell you this.
But I still think it's cool.
All of conspiracy world would shit all over you for that. One of the big things people in the conspiracy world, they hate the RFID thing. The whole concept,
okay, everybody can have their own opinion.
Some people call it the mark of the beast, and that's the real mark of the beast, is the fact that they put the number on you. Here's where it gets a little is, all right, so you got the RFID, right? Everything's in your body, whatever. What if the government decides you're not woke enough? We're turning off your chip. You can't pay for anything.
So this would be, I always play devil's advocate. This is why I don't have like a strong opinion, because I see both sides.
Well, you can have a strong
cool,
opinion.
And I also think it's not a good idea. And I have reasons why for both.
Well, then speak to that. That's where we're at here. Is the conspiracy world would say, you give government that kind of power over something. What if, put it this way, YouTube has taken down things about COVID that are now the majority truth, right? So back in the day, if you made a video saying that COVID was a lab leak, the lab leak theory, that in China they had the lab over there and it leaked from, they had a gain of function lab over there, and the virus leaked from that lab. And it wasn't from the bats. It wasn't accidental. It wasn't whatever. It was from a lab leak that that America was funding at the time, or I guess not America, but an American company was funding at the time, and it leaked from there, and that's where COVID started. It's a lab virus, not a natural virus. You said that on YouTube before, taking down your video, demonetizing it, all that shit, right? You might get a strike on your channel. Now it's accepted as truth. So my point is, whereas something that might be true that they took down, an alternative theory, if you have an RFID chip in you and you start speaking some shit that that doesn't tote the line with the main narrative that's out there, and they say it's dangerous talk, it's whatever, just because you have a different idea that ends up being true, What if they turn off your RFID chip? You're not allowed to buy your groceries with this, with the money on this account.
You're not allowed to vote.
You're not allowed to do whatever. Whatever the RFID chip, whatever. That's where you have some fucking problems.
So this is where my argument comes in. Not an argument, just my standpoint. Like, it's cool that you have all this access. It's efficient. Makes life easier. Clean lifestyle. The problem is, on the other side, is that you're giving control to somebody else. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, on that column, that is your personal decision. And then even if you lose that control, you're just back to square one.
Not really, though, because the world will be the world. If you have if our FRID, whatever, were the main source of the way things were, that means things would be streamlined around that service. It would be much harder to do some old school shit. Or some companies will only accept the RFID. And if you don't accept that RFID, you cannot use that company because your RFID is closed.
Oh my God. So don't get so lost in the future. Just go back old school. Like, really go old school. Don't worry about if your PS5 has a CD in it so you can play your old PlayStation games. Just get an old PlayStation and play it.
All right. And then they say, but you're missing the point. The point is, if that's the way of the world, so you want to play, hold on, run it back. Run that. Run that back. Your PlayStation analogy again. Run it back again.
Okay, so for the PS5, you can get one digital only, or one with the CD insert, so you can play your old games. So, say RFID removes that. Oh, now you can't do the things that you normally could if you had RFID. So just kick it back old school, where you were before, and you were happy then before RFID. Say back to PS2 days.
You're relying.
Just get a PS2 and put the CD in, and now you can play your Kingdom Hearts or
you're relying
Soul Calibur.
You're relying on the fact that PS5's always going to have that access to both. It's going to have the CD version, or it's going to have the digital version, and you pick. You're relying that PS5 is going to do that. What if PS5 says, "Look, we're done with that. It's more cost effective for us. This is a better way of doing it. We're not doing digital. I mean, we're only doing digital now."
That's fine. So I chime in again.
But then you can't do the old school.
But yes, you can, because all you have to do is get a PS2.
All right. Well, that's what
I'm saying.
Well, that's where the analogy kind of breaks up, but doesn't relate to the truth of the matter. Because if you are the government or you're a company and you're working with the government and you say, look, this bank is only going to do RFID. Or hey, you can only purchase at this store. We're Whole Foods, we're Publix, we're Walmart. We need RFID only. That's all we accept.
And you're saying that there's not going to be other companies out there that are doing non-RFID
You might get that, but your lifestyle is going to dramatically decrease. Because what if those companies aren't providing?
Now that I know what you're saying, but saying it decreases is a matter of perspective.
Yeah, well, my lifestyle would decrease if certain things don't allow me to do it. Your lifestyle is going to decrease. Is that okay with you? Because you said some comments that doesn't gel with the mainstream ideology. Is that okay with you? That'll shut you off and now your lifestyle gets decreased? That's not okay with you. Don't think about it. It's not.
You're trying to put me in a box and I want that.
I'm just giving you an idea of where the pitfalls could happen, and is that okay with you? It's not.
This is starting to sound like a matter of mofo. No. Wait. Do you know what I was trying to say?
Fear of missing out?
Fear of missing out. FOMO. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Mofo.
FOMO.
Okay. All right. This sounds like a matter of mofo. Motherfucker. This is sounding a lot like mofo.
It still stands. This is a matter of mofo. Because we have this whole system that's being put in place and you're supposed to be going along with it. If you don't go along with it, you're going to miss out on all of this that's happening in this world.
No, that's
right?
No.
The RFID, the whole
right now, because you're not just missing out on the latest and greatest. you're getting denied, possibly, right? Theoretical. You could possibly get denied things you already have access to.
But
things you can already do. So that's
but
the
let me-
difference of fear of missing
let-
out. That's getting denied things.
I get it. The denial, we don't like
And
rejection,
maybe
all that
maybe
stuff.
an access to higher quality things that you normally could based on an opinion.
Okay, let me put it this way. Is there something out there now that is denied that you cannot get without X?
I can just speak to YouTube. That's the first thing that's coming on. There are subjects you can't talk about if you're a podcast, and then if you get enough strikes, they'll take down your whole channel. So
But that's just...
Is it though? Because if you're somebody, let's say it depends on what your YouTube channel is, right? If I'm somebody, let's say this is what I do. I speak truth to power, whatever. That's weird. Let's just say I do the news. I like to talk about the news, and I'm a journalist, and I try to like dive deep on the truth, not what they're telling you on mainstream media. I want to dive in deep on the truth. These platforms are rising in power and more powerful than CNN and Fox and whatever, as far as viewership goes, right? They get more eyes on them, more people are listening. Now, if I'm on a platform that I can't even speak the truth about certain things, they're silencing my ability to do that. Why? Because they're going to demonetize you. And if you keep going, they'll give you a strike. And if you get enough strikes, you get 3 strikes, boom, you're out. Your channel's done. Your livelihood's done. So your incentive is not to even touch that subject. It could be a very important subject. But like I can't even get into that. But this is, and my viewers want to hear it. I think it's important. I can't touch that subject. They're putting me in a box where I can't even fucking talk about it.
That's frustrating.
On that platform.
That is frustrating. But here's the thing. When you signed up to YouTube, these are the rules. You follow them. You want to use YouTube? Boom. You got to follow those rules. You break the rules, then boom, you get your strikes.
Yeah, well, some of the rules that they say.
On the other hand, you do want to speak this and your viewers want to hear this. It doesn't mean that you still can't talk about it. You just don't have that platform to do it. So you're not denied being able to talk about it. You're only denied on the platform.
You're right. But when you build something on a certain platform, and this is where you're making your livelihood, there's that. And then you don't just like have to rebuild another one when you have no followers and shit like that. Or the other thing is the rules can be, let's put it this way. You are not allowed to incite violence or hurt people or hurt people's like health. I don't know. Or give them like misinformation. Not misinformation. All right, yeah. Let's say this. Let's say you're not allowed to feed misinformation about things. Like I just told,
that should be a given. That's common sense. Like, why would you do that to people?
Listen.
People do that. I know.
No. The example I said earlier. At the time, it was misinformation to say that it was probably a lab leak theory. It was misinformation at the time. Who is saying, if you don't know, do you think YouTube has all the fucking scientists on their team doing all the work? No, they're going with the mainstream narrative of things, right? And the mainstream narrative is whatever. So like, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's now, even on news, now the mainstream media is okay with saying things like that. But it wasn't. You were getting striked and demonetized for saying that. Now, and these are people who are educated. There were people with YouTube channels who know more than anybody on the fucking desk at fucking YouTube. Scientists saying, the genome looks just a little bit more lively. Doesn't look like something that would happen in nature. It looks very like indicative of something that happened in a lab, right? You have that. And they can't even say it. And they're more qualified than anybody at fucking YouTube. And now they're not allowed to speak it. They're going to get demonetized, they're going to get shut down, whatever. Those are the pitfalls. So you have something like this. Like if you say no hate speech, sounds good. We both agree. No hate speech. But when you start, what if saying what we just said a little bit ago and saying, look, a man, the whole women and man, like athletic kind of thing right there. If you said the controversial line of, well, a man can't have babies. Okay. Can't give birth. You said that, and they say that's hate speech because a transgender man can give birth. and they're a man, are you saying they're not a man? Is that what you're saying? That's hate speech. You see what I'm saying? Innocent little thing we said earlier. But that's where you get it, and it's not make believe because it literally just happened with COVID. It's not a make believe world, and that's a problem. Some of these rules, like who's enforcing that, and what defines that?
Look, you got to know the game you're playing, and you got to play within the rules. You start going outside the rules, whether it's truth or not, you got to be prepared for that. And you need other outlets. I'm speaking outside of my brain now, because this is not the realm I like to go in. I know that there's corruption, and I know that there's evil people, but I know there's good people too, and I know that there's truth lying out there, and I know the truth doesn't always get to surface all the time, or at the right time. It's at the time that's convenient to the people who have the power. So, welcome to America, right?
Elon Musk and Zuckerberg would fight.
Oh, we just got shut down.
Go! Let me say this. Let's close with something like this. You were kind of painting an example of saying how like you can't know everything about something, right? And that's why you don't care to know about stuff. Oh, so let's say current events. Yeah. You didn't say. I'm just saying like current events and be up to date and see the new ones. Let's say COVID, right? You probably never did a deep dive in COVID, right? But that was affecting your life heavy and things like that. And you see whatever, but just do you not think like what you were saying? Like, do you not think just having the knowledge and knowing whatever and being able to and like talk to people around you and have a different view spectrum and being aware is important?
I did mention that earlier.
Do you think
being
it's
aware of the important stuff is important? Yes.
Well, then we get into a thing of what's important to you and what's important to somebody else. I get that. So like, what's the important stuff? But
I also understand what's important to me and what's important to like the mass. There's two levels to the mass, like what's important that everybody's trending with and what's actually important that's happening to your livelihood.
And I also think this is going to sound bad, but there's a term. Blissful ignorance.
I don't like your face when you say that. I don't like your face when you say that because you're attacking my lifestyle. I'm a good-looking man, and I like to live in my bubble, but that doesn't mean I'm stupid. I actually know stuff.
I've never, ever said you're stupid.
No, you never said that.
Stupid. I never would. I know you're not stupid. I know you're a very smart person.
You just did it in your own way.
No, I didn't. I've always been clear.
Ignorance?
What is define ignorance? It's not stupid. It's not knowing about something. It's just being ignorant to something. There's things I'm ignorant to. All right.
I'm back with you.
Same.
But yes, blissful ignorance.
I think that's what you operate in. That was a dick. But like you don't know there could be a solar flare. You don't know you're living on LA and any fucking day now it's way overdue that a huge fucking earthquake's gonna shatter your shit and your whole life's gonna be whatever. You don't want to care. I remember things that you told me. You told me. Hold on, talk about this. Might fucking tie into something. Go. You told me back. Oh fuck! Why were we talking about life and like I was talking about like shortening it and not having like a good long like a quality of life. What was it? Was it when I was doing your blood work? What the fuck was it? Remember when you gave me your blood work and I started looking at the things? I said you need to take some vitamin B12. You gotta
have a vague memory of that. I showed you my blood work, yeah.
Oh, no, it was your fucking leg, I think. Was it?
Maybe.
I was saying, and you were saying, look, this is my life. Whatever fucking happens, I'm okay with it. If this shit fucking breaks down and I'm fucking breathing off a tube, that's my life. I'm okay with it. I'm not scared of it. It's not saying scared, dude. It's whatever. And then I remember you sounded like you kind of bounced out of that and you were like, I think that conversation changed something. I don't know. But shortly after, you started being a little bit more aware, more health conscious and things like that. But you were very like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm like, I'm not scared of dying. I'm not scared of these things. If that's what's gonna happen, that's what's gonna happen, bro. Like, that's not how I live my life. That's not how I choose to live. I'm not saying, look, I'm not saying be paranoid. I'm just saying your quality of life is gonna diminish for years, and then you're gonna be like, fuck, I wish I did X, Y, and Z.
The quality of life is gonna change, not diminish.
No, diminish.
No, see, that's your thought process. That's a matter of perspective.
Oh, let's go into it.
Yes.
Let's go into it.
I am strong on this. And when you open up this conversation, you're like, ooh, you don't know if a solar flare is going to happen or if a massive earthquake is going to happen. And then you went into it, and I actually felt good when you were talking about how you think I would respond. And I still stand by it because things are going to happen. Change is going to happen.
Let me pause real quick. Hold your thought. When I started it, I wasn't planning on going here, so it was not. I didn't mean to go with the solar flares and the scare tactics.
I don't know what that was. But
I was gonna go into an angle of saying like knowing about these things, being aware of these things, can help you make life decisions on where you live, what's going on, where are you gonna settle down, things like that, right? And
these are word choices. You say help make a difference, and I want to say it can make a difference.
I don't want to say mitigate issues. Maybe
it's just the way that I think.
But let's get to what we were just saying. I just wanted to isolate. I started to go somewhere else with the beginning of it, with the solar flares and shit, and then I started thinking about your carefree attitude, and then I went into this part. But it wasn't a whole.
I know. I just say carefree attitude too. That's actually pretty close to how I think. But don't make me out to be so naive.
I don't mean it that way.
I know you don't mean it.
And I defined
words
the
are powerful.
Things that you told me.
If you're saying it,
but
I'm not going to let the...
That's how I got with what you told me. I'm being like, look, this is how it is, baby. This is where it is. It's not carefree, but it's like, I accept my life is my life. It's almost like it's destined. This is my life. Whatever fucking happens, I'll roll with the punches. And yes, that's exactly how you should be. But there's things you can do to not fucking allow to lessen the chance that this happens or that happens. As I sit here and smoke this puff, I know that I can be likely to get fucking lung cancer and that kind of shit. I'm aware, and this will stop. But for now, I love it.
And anyway. that little puff right there is why I can't completely I can't 100% call you a hypochondriac. 99% I can.
Oh, there's irony there. Anyway, let's move on. I'm gonna move. Let's get back to what we're saying. You were defending yourself a second ago and saying about the whole. What was the part that I said? They said the quality.
The
of
solar
life.
flare, the earthquake.
No. Fuck the solar flare. Remember, I was good. I said that to go somewhere else, and then I started thinking about something else, and then I kind of veered. That was actually the solar flares and earthquakes were not. It was about the health, and then I said, look, there's things you could do where your quality of health, like, because you're just like you were more carefree of like, look, this is how I'm living, baby. Like this is it. Yes, it was. And I said your quality of I forgot the fuck. You're lucky I forgot what we're fucking talking about because it was 100% on task of your health.
Welcome to deflection. This is how
you do it. It's not
deflection.
I want to know what it is. It's not deflection. There was something health wise, and I'm like, dude, you gotta do that. I remember it probably was your blood work or with the B12, and I forgot what it was, but you started. I was saying like you gotta not do that. You're like, look, whatever fucking happens. Like, I'm okay with it. You're not okay with it. Most people aren't okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm like, look, quality of life diminishes. And you just attacked me for saying the quality of life diminishes. And you said, that's your big thing. And you want to talk about it.
I didn't attack you for thinking that way. I defended myself from you thinking that I think that way.
All right, fair enough. Elaborate, please.
These are healthy habits. The words that you tell yourself, they're very strong. There's a great Bruce Lee quote, and also Dalai Lama does the same thing. Words are very powerful. They become actions, habits, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm trailing off, but the point is...
The Dalai Lama had a little kid kiss his tongue. Continue, though. Sorry.
So now you're the one with the jokes.
But he did do that. He did. It was weird. It was
I did not know that. I was today years old.
He went like this. And he had like a 12-year-old boy kiss his tongue.
That's not a kiss.
Yeah. It's fucking weird. I think he's getting too old. He needs to retire. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with that guy. It's not
Okay,
good.
forget I said Dalai Lama. Just
Anyway, I want you to say, like, for you, and quality of life when there's an ailment. When there's an ailment.
One of my main points is that you said my quality of life diminishes, and I don't want to say that. What I would say is that my quality of life changes. Doesn't necessarily mean it's for the better or the worse or to say the same. But when you say diminish, it automatically puts it lesser than what I had before. And from the outside perspective, anybody seeing me, let's just say losing a leg, yeah, no, I can't run like I used to,
Diminishes.
or whatnot. I would accept other people's perspective diminish, but I would find another way to enjoy my life with what I have.
And you should. And that's the fucking gangster in you. And that's what you should do. That's what a motherfucker does. You know what I mean? That's when you have some shit that goes wrong, you don't fucking cry and bitch and whatever. You fucking attack it. This is my new life.
There's a
This
moment
is
of it.
I'm going it. Yeah. But like I'm saying, you attack it and you fucking go. That's the real, that's that real in you. But it diminishes.
I'm not accepting that word.
It does, though.
Because
there's things you cannot do. Let's put it this way.
Still not accepting it. I understand where you're going with it, and you can say it.
It's the truth, though. You have to change. You have to adapt.
If you live in that world, it's the truth.
It's the fucking truth, no matter what world it is. And I'm with you. I understand. Like, I'm on your vibe. If that shit happens to me, I'm going to attack it like a motherfucker, too. And I get it. I understand what you're saying. Trust me. But
you're not going to get me to admit the word diminishing.
I'm not trying. I'm just saying it's the fucking truth. Because there's things you can do before. And put it this way. Let's say you're old, right? Let's say you have like emphysema.
Okay.
You're on the bed. You be on oxygen all the time. You have grandkids. You want to play with them. You only have so much. You can't go out all the time and in all these places. You're getting winded on things. They're going to Disney. You're going to be out there all fucking day in the hot sun. Like what all these, you have your tanks with you or whatever, right? Your life has changed. You have to, based on faults that you made earlier, you have to live with that. You have to find the best way and not be a little fucking angry grump or whatever.
See,
but guess what?
You don't get to go to Disney.
You don't get
have to live like this.
No. All right, no. You can be a little bitch and just sit there and let the world fucking happen and woe is me and whatever. But somebody mentally fucking strong is like, look, this is my life. I made mistakes. Here I'm at. I'm gonna fucking attack this. This is my new thing. I'm gonna make the best of where I'm at right now. That's all I can do. I made those mistakes. They caused me this. Here I am. This is my new normal. I'm gonna do the best I can. But guess what? The best you can is not 100% as it used to be. If you didn't make those mistakes, or if X, Y, and Z didn't happen to you. And how do you argue? I think that's the
quality of life of diminishing returns when you're thinking about what I used to be. Everything changes.
What you could have been.
Think what you used to be or what you could have been. You got to live in the moment. Go with the flow. Be who you are now.
It's not about that, dude. I understand what you're saying.
For me. That's for me.
Think about this. You went out and you drank and drove. Got into an accident. Mm-hmm. You became a paraplegic. You can't get around, right? Okay. Automatically, a lot of things change for you and your wife. The way you guys get down with each other, the way you guys hang out.
I like how you said change.
All things like that, right? There's a change. I said change for you, by the way. But
thank you.
It's less than what you used to be able to do. It's not.
Yes.
Can you not? Can you? All right. Do you know what diminish means?
At that point, I'm going to agree with you because you lived this life and now you have less because that is what's happening in the moment. This is part of the transition.
Hold on.
You create a new narrative after, but go ahead.
Here's the difference between, let's just say, getting older. What it sounded like, you're saying, like, if you're getting older and there's things you used to be able to do, but here's my new normal. It's different. Look, you decided to go out and drink. You decided to do that. You made mistakes. Now you got to live with the fucking consequences. And then here you are. You're a fucking paraplegic now. You decided to do that. Here you are. Your mistakes, here you are. You have no choice now that you're in this bubble but to make the best of it and be all you can be. You actually have a choice. But a fucking gangster says, fuck this. I'm going to fuck this roll up of wherever I'm at right now. I'm going to fuck it up. That's what you do. That's what a dog does. But there's no denying that you are less than what you were as far as things you could have done. You did that to yourself. You can't do. There's a lot of things you can't do now. You just can't do it. You can't run. You're not going to beat me in a race, no matter what. You like track. Me, if that happened to me, I love track. I can't run. I love running outside and going for jogs and putting podcasts in. I can't do that anymore. I got to figure something else new. Life has diminished for me. Does it mean I have to wallow and sit in there and be like, I can't do that anymore? I'm going to find something new. I'll find something else that it's cool with. But guess what I can't do? I can't do that anymore. Life has diminished. Why are you against that fucking sentence when that's the truth and the fact of the matter?
I'm still against it, even with everything that you said.
Explain why. Because diminished, the word...
a few different routes.
Yeah, go all of them. Diminished is triggering for you. That's what it is. You don't like the word?
I'll accept trigger. I don't. It's not really what it is, but
it's
for
not,
the sake of this,
is it inaccurate?
It's a thought process.
I'm with you, brother.
For you to use the word diminish negatively impacts your life.
I wouldn't sit there.
Okay, let me put you in a situation.
We're thinking.
Let me put you in a situation.
Hold on, okay, before you do that,
okay.
The way I'm talking is from like a fucking D&D board. We're watching from above. We're third person. We're just watching the thing is. That is diminished. I'm not saying if I was in that position, I would talk to myself that way. That's not what I'm saying.
This is new information.
That's not new information because I already said it a couple times. That's the way you should think. That's how you do it. That's how you attack it. That's how you go. You don't sit there like that. I've said that a couple times. That's where I'm at. You should not have these thoughts. I'm not saying have these thoughts, but we're on a third person view looking at the situation and you being a healthy young man as you are right now, thinking about if that were to happen to you, that's diminished. If it happens to you, fuck those thoughts. Let's go. We're going for it. And I'm all for it. And I would never say that to you. I'd be like, let's fucking go, baby. Stop bitching. Let's fucking do it. How are we going to do it? If it happened to me, same thing. But where I'm at right now, I know that that's a diminished lifestyle if I were to go down a certain road or something like that, right? And that could be health, something that if you're not doing X, Y, and Z right. Let me take this puff real quick. Your turn.
I think the mass majority of the audience would accept that word diminish because that's the world we live in, because we're supposed to be controlled. And to be controlled, you have to be... Okay, you give me the confused face. Let me go back to where I was. Let me put you in a situation. You love track and field. That's your life. This is like stronghold. You love to run. You love that fresh air, that change of scenery, like the feeling, that rush that you get when you run. Whether you're jogging or you're sprinting, whatnot, right? Say you lose a leg. Are you saying you can never run again?
I'll get a prosthetic.
Okay, see, I like the way you think. Are you saying that you can never feel that feeling again?
It wouldn't be the same, but I would do
the best. It wouldn't be the same. Okay, maybe, yeah, it wouldn't be like the exact same, but you could still get close to the rush. But what I'm saying is...
I wouldn't have the same dexterity in my leg. I wouldn't be a lot of things off. But I wish I had my real leg. But I wouldn't be a bitch and sit there crying about it.
So, with that scenario, I can see the argument of like your life is diminished, but it's not at the same time not diminished because you're finding new ways to enjoy life with what you have. And you can't really argue against it unless you've actually lived it. So I had a stronger point to add to that.
but
Well,
it's
let me
gone.
let that sink in for a second.
It
So-
doesn't have to sink in. I just don't agree.
But I love how you came up positively, quick with
But I
both of those
told you that.
questions.
I told you that's what you should do. You're just not listening to that part. You're hearing the
I just don't
diminished
like the word
word,
diminish.
but it's the fucking fact. You
Can you
can't
use a
do
different
it.
word?
Lesser capabilities.
Anyway, the point is when you're saying diminish is because you're comparing. It's not fair to compare what you have now to what you had in the past. You have
In
one leg now.
some things.
You have two legs before. You're comparing what you have now to something that you had before, and that's not okay. Yes, it is diminishing, but also you can't really compare.
We did it.
I gave it to you. But it's not fair to compare those two.
Well, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for doing
Yeah, I
the first
appreciate you
podcast.
too.
I'm
It's
gonna
all love,
try
all
to work
love.
it out. Let's call it into it. All right. See ya.
See it.